She was already falling behind when the first shots cracked through the valley. Boots thundered ahead of her, kicking up dust in panic, while her lungs burned like they might tear open. Someone shouted her name, not in encouragement, but in warning. If she couldn't keep up now, she might never catch up again. And when the flag slipped from the lead soldier's grasp and disappeared into smoke, everything changed. Before I tell you what happened next, tell me in the comments where you're rewatching from. I love knowing who's listening. Private Lena Hale had always known she wasn't the fastest. On training runs, she finished last more often than not, forcing a smile as others slapped her shoulder with forced kindness. She heard the whispers when they thought she couldn't. Too slow, too small, not built for this. She told herself speed wasn't everything, even when doubt crept in during the quiet hours before sleep. The mission wasn't supposed to be like this. It was meant to be symbolic, a coordinated push through hostile territory to reclaim ground and raise the unit. Its flag at the ridgeline. Morale mattered. The flag mattered. It was history stitched in fabric, carried by those who believed they could hold the line. The ridge burned. Gunfire echoed between rocks, sharp and merciless. Smoke curled low, choking the air, turning sunlight into a dirty haze. Soldiers dropped into cover, returning fire with disciplined bursts. Commands cut through the chaos, clipped and urgent. Somewhere ahead, the flag-bearer went down, his cry swallowed by the roar of battle. Lena saw it happen. She saw the pole tumble, the fabric darkened with dust and ash. For a heartbeat, no one moved. She knew she should stay where she was. She was already behind, already struggling. The sensible choice was to let someone faster take it, but no one did. The flag lay there, exposed a few yards beyond cover. Enemy fire stitched the ground around it, daring anyone to try. The moments stretched, heavy and accusing. Lena felt something tighten in her chest. Not fear, but recognition. This was the line. Not on the map. Inside her. If the flag stayed there, the push would stall. If the push stalled, soldiers would die. Her hands trembled as she moved. Gravel bit into her palms when she crawled, heart hammering so loudly she was sure everyone could hear it. Bullets snapped overhead, close enough to feel their passing like hot breath. She reached the fallen pole and hesitated. She thought of home, of the nights she almost quit, of every voice that told her she wasn't enough. Then she stood. The flag unfurled as she lifted it, colors catching firelight and smoke. It felt heavier than it ever had before, the weight of expectation pulling at her shoulders. She ran. Pain screamed through her legs. Her breath came in ragged gasps. The world narrowed to each step, each heartbeat. Somewhere behind her, voices rose, shouts of disbelief, then something else. Hope. She's got it, someone yelled. The enemy noticed too. Fire intensified, dirt erupting at her feet. She stumbled once, nearly falling. For a terrifying second, she thought she'd drop the flag. Thought she'd prove them all right. She didn't. Soldiers surged forward, drawn by the impossible sight of her still running. They moved like a tide, coordinated and fierce, covering her advance without needing to be told. Even those who had doubted her felt something shift inside their chests. Halfway up the ridge, Lena's vision blurred. Her legs begged her to stop. She questioned herself. Was this bravery or foolishness? Was one symbol worth her life? Then she saw the medic kneeling over the fallen flag-bearer, blood on his gloves, but a pulse under his fingers. Alive, because they'd pushed. Because she hadn't stopped. The final stretch felt endless. Smoke thinned as she climbed, wind tearing at the fabric she carried. When she reached the crest, the ground leveled out, sudden and shocking. She drove the pole into the earth with shaking hands, collapsing to her knees as the flag snapped open above her. For a moment, there was only stillness. Then the ridge erupted with sound. Cheers, laughter edged with tears, weapons lowered as soldiers caught their breath. Even over the radio, voices cracked with emotion. Below, the enemy retreated, momentum broken by something they hadn't planned for. Lena sat there, chest heaving, staring at her hands as if they belonged to someone else. They were scraped and bleeding. They had never felt stronger. Later, when the dust settled and the wounded were tended, the unit gathered beneath the flag. Conversations hushed as she approached, unsure where she belonged now. The captain stepped forward, eyes unreadable. "You carried more than cloth today," he said. "You carried us." Applause broke out, not thunderous, but deep and sincere, the kind that comes from understanding. Lena felt her face burn, not with shame, but with something dangerously close to pride. That night, she lay awake listening to the wind tug at the flag outside. She realized something then. She had never been slow. She had been steady. And sometimes, steady is what saves everyone else. Because courage isn't about being the fastest, it's about moving when it matters most. And the girl who once couldn't keep up became the reason everyone else made it through the fire. If this story meant something to you, share your thoughts below. Your voice is part of this journey. And if you believe strength often hides in the underestimated, subscribe to Whispered Words, because the quietest steps can carry the heaviest flags.